I opened my eyes to the soft morning light slipping through the hotel curtains. The air smelled like damp wood and spring. I hadn't slept well, not from the cold, but from my thoughts. I sat on the edge of the bed. I listened to the street sounds, horses, vendors, a distant tune. Washington felt alive, full of energy, different. The war was over, or so they said. I washed my face with cold water and looked at myself in the mirror. I've always liked to check my reflection before going out. Practice a smile, a look. The city wants a show, and me, I was born for that. I had breakfast near the Capitol, bread, coffee, and an old newspaper. Everyone was talking about Lincoln, how the great hero of the Union had won. The theater will be packed tonight, a street seller told me. They say he and his wife will come. I smiled at him, gave him a coin. Outside, the faces looked different, tired but hopeful. Union, freedom, words floating in the air like they could change the soul of a country just by being spoken. But I know not everything changes with words. Not everything disappears with a signature. At noon, I met with some old friends in a rough tavern. Good beer, tense talk. We spoke about what's next, what's gone. Winners write history, one said. So what are we now? Asked another. I stayed quiet, just looked at my drink. I didn't say it, but I thought it. We are not beaten. We are the last spark. And sometimes to make something new, there has to be a final act. A flame. I stopped by the theater in the afternoon, Ford's Theater. I know it like my own hand. I've stepped on that stage more times than I can count. Some say it's my second home. I went in for a moment, said hi to the stagehands. You coming tonight? They asked. Maybe, I said. I wasn't lying, I just didn't say it all. I left through the back door, walked a few blocks, then went into a gun shop. A small pistol? The man asked. I need it for a role, a gentleman with secrets, I told him. He smiled. He believed me. They always believe me. The afternoon dropped like a curtain. The city's colors changed. The red sky turned purple, then gray. I sat on a bench by Andrew Jackson's statue. I watched. I thought. People passed by, laughed, lived. Some tipped their hats at me. I nodded politely, as always. I stayed quiet, but my mind didn't. I thought of him, of what he said, with malice toward none, with charity for all. Nice words, empty for some, for me. I went back to the hotel, got dressed. Not my best suit, but my most serious one. I tightened my belt harder than usual, checked my coat, my pockets. Everything was in place. I left slowly. My horse was waiting. I stroked him before getting on. He seemed nervous too. The streets were calm. A few lamps had started to light up. I was starting to burn inside too. It wasn't fear, it was knowing. I got to the theater just before 8, not for the play, for the moment. The show had already started, laughter inside. Outside, a guard not paying attention. He barely looked at me. I'm an actor, I said. Oh, of course. Go ahead, Mr. Booth, he replied. Fame opens doors, and sometimes it shuts them for good. I went up the side stairs. The wood creaked, but I knew every step. To my left, the hall that leads to the president's box. I took a deep breath, put my hand in my pocket. Cold. Metal. Through the crack, I saw his shape. He was relaxed, laughing. His wife was next to him. The crowd burst into laughter. The funniest scene, the perfect time. No one looks to the back in a room full of laughs. No one expects a shot. One step. 2. Silence. Finger on the trigger. One shot. The curtain didn't fall, but the world did, and I knew then, there's no going back, no forgiveness. My name is John Wilkes Booth, and this was my final act.